Hi, welcome back. So this is day 2 of me deciding to do the 90 days and change my ways to being a bit more sober. So yeah, as I explained in the previous introductory session, I was going to split this into 5 segments. We're going to talk about my feelings and what I went through in the previous day, talk about the food that I ate during that day, also the amount of exercise, if any, if I did during that day, and how that subsequently made me feel. I'll talk about the quality of sleep that I got in the previous night as a result of what I went through in the previous day, and then finally we'll just wrap it up with my general perception of how things are going and whether or not I do think that abstaining from alcohol has having an overall positive influence, and whether or not it sort of subsides the level of anxiety that I feel in certain situations and uncomfortableness. So yeah, anyway, let's do it. We've only got 3 minutes, so I'm going to talk you through the prior day. So in the morning I felt rather refreshed and feeling upbeat about the fact that I was going to go through a period of 90 days, and I had everything set up in terms of sharing my experience with you and giving you a forum to sort of share your feelings and thoughts about certain things and whether or not you go through a similar thing. So in the morning it felt good. I then spoke to my father around lunchtime on Skype. He lives in Australia, and during that conversation I sort of felt a bit of anxiousness come up and a bit of unease. Don't know whether has anything to do with him or my relationship with him, which is quite healthy. I just think that me sharing with him certain things in terms of what I'm doing, we haven't been that open in the past, and maybe it just generates a little bit of uncomfortableness for me, but hopefully that'll get better over time. I then went down to the shops at around lunchtime, walked down there. As I made it towards Paddington in central London, I sort of had a period of anxiety there which lasted around 2, 3, 4 minutes maybe, where I felt a little bit uncomfortable and I wanted to sort of get out of that area and go home where I was a bit more familiar surroundings, but that's passed. Then once I made it to my destination, which was the actual camera shop actually, where I bought the tripod to sort of film this experiment. So from then on in the afternoon it was quite good. I had a lot to do, I had a lot to work through. I'm starting my own business, so I've recently quit the corporate rat race, so to speak, and starting up a wine business. So I have a lot to do, which sort of occupies my mind in a way as well, so from those thoughts and feelings of anxiousness and uncomfortableness or whatever they may be. So diet on the previous day. Now, if you don't have one of these, I recommend you getting on. It's just a journal that I bought from Amazon, and it cost me a couple of pounds, but it gives me the opportunity to basically write down what I've eaten throughout the day and any thoughts that have happened throughout me, or whether there's sort of circumstances that I suppose, if I've eaten something, does that make me feel in a certain way? Have I been in a certain situation where that may also have an impact on me? If you don't have one, I recommend highly that you get them. I'll get one. So throughout the day I had a little bit of caffeine. I had 2 coffees. I had a drink that I made with a blender which had water, almonds, cacao, acai and banana. I had leftover pasta from the night before, which had Kalamata olives, anchovies, some capers and just a tomato base. For lunch, for afternoon tea, we had a scone and some jam and cream, and for dinner was just some jerk chicken with some buckwheat and a bit of an avocado salsa. So that and a mandarin and some green tea for what I'd classify as dessert or supper. So overall pretty healthy throughout the day, and I didn't experience any sort of feelings associated with any of the food that I'd eaten. Some people tend to say that to steer away from caffeine if you experience anxiety, but I haven't really made that connection as yet. So that's it from the diet perspective. Exercise wise, I did 45 minutes with a friend at the gym in the morning, primarily body weight stuff, which we did at around 7:15 in the morning, and after that I generally do feel quite energetic and enthusiastic about the day, but that also can correspond with crashes if I haven't had the right amount of food or being tired, and maybe that me being tired can trigger some form of anxiety in certain situations. But as we go throughout this process, I'm going to try and sort of make sure that I can make that distinguished link between that and that, which may help you. And then in the evening I went for a 2-kilometre jog with a friend just around the local park rec down the road, which lasted for about 20 minutes, and then came home and made some dinner and did a little bit more work and spoke to you on the camera before I went to bed, and then that was it. So in terms of sleep, because it was a carryover from the Saturday night when I did have a fairly significant drinking session, I didn't sleep that well. I probably went to sleep within 30 minutes of going to bed, but then was a bit restless up until about midnight. So going to bed at just before 10, restless until about 12. I then opened the window for some fresh air and put the fan on, and that helped me sleep fairly well for the remainder of the evening. In terms of overall, it's episode 2, day 2, whatever you may think. So still no links between any changes in behaviour and how I'm feeling. It's still too early days, I think, but overall I'm feeling really positive about what I'm doing, and posting this online just to sort of see if anyone has the same sort of feelings or goes through the same sort of emotions when they do drink, and then if they abstain from drinking, have they gone through a similar sort of process. So overall fairly positive, no significant changes in terms of how I'm feeling at the moment or how I react in certain situations, but the more I read, the more I research, which I will share with you my sources over time, we hopefully will be feeling better and on the road to living a more comfortable and fulfilling existence. Anyway, it's enough from me now, and I'll speak to you tomorrow. Cheers, bye.